So Château DIY are coming back today, and I'm a little bit nervous because Jolyon has, since we last filmed with him, broke his wrist. He was in the pit of despair and had a little accident, fell on his arm, broke his wrist, was in hospital for like 3 days, bless him, in a lot of pain. So it means I have to wallpaper solo on TV, having never done it before. So I'm a little bit nervous. But I've watched lots of YouTube videos, Jolyon will be there, like encouraging me along, helping out where he can, and we'll see how we get on. What's going to be really interesting is we picked probably the hardest wallpaper known to man to wallpaper and pattern match, because it's very intricate, very beautiful, and it is the first time we'll be wallpapering, so you're in for a treat, I'm sure.
The final piece of wallpaper we have to hang, but this is a really tricky one, isn't it?
We've been building it and left it to last for good reason. One, to develop our skills on tricky bits and pieces, and two, because that's where kind of the pattern and the thickness of the wallpaper ends.
Yeah, because we've got these two pipes as well. There's always going to be a point where the two pieces of paper don't match up perfectly, or at least the pattern doesn't. And by doing it behind the pipes, it hopefully means that it'll be really discreet. Where's the tape measure? So what we're doing is, we want obviously the pattern to continue. So we're going to basically trim off
3 centimetres.
3 centimetres all the way down. That's about 3 centimetres, isn't it?
I'm going to measure it. It's not straight. I would like some champagne, please.
Cremant?
Yeah, that's it. Bloody hell. That's so fiddly. It's so satisfying.
It's looking good though. Wow.
This is the room that we have just finished wallpapering, and I'm pretty impressed, if I say so myself. It's really, really beautiful. We've used this wallpaper from Graham and Brown, who very kindly gifted us the wallpaper for this room, and it is stunning. I think just the detail and the colour of the pattern is, I don't know, something to behold. It's so dramatic, which is exactly the look that we're going for. So now we're just finishing off installing the skirting boards that I made using sort of a router that I turned into a router table. And yeah, we had to build our own skirting boards to try and hide the ugly pipes, but also I wanted something that went all the way around the room that matched the kind of original grand skirting boards that they had before. So I made our own, why not? It was a bit of a faff, I'm not going to lie. But it was a new skill that we've learnt, and I'm really happy with the result. And just look at this, it's incredible. It's going to be so nice when we start to get furniture in here. This will probably be my favourite room of the whole house now. So we are just on our way back from the brocante, which, well, it's Emmaus, which is actually a charity shop that supports homeless people, and they work there and they're really lovely, and they always have some incredible bargains. So we bought a new wardrobe or armoire and some other nice little bits and pieces which will just be really good for kind of like decorating rooms around the chateau. Anyway, the other thing that's exciting, slash a little bit freezing, is it's snowing. I don't know if you can see that, it mainly looks like it's raining, but I promise it's snow. Anyway, it's been another fun day, but yeah, I hope, yeah.
You've got no sign off, haven't you?
Got no sign off. Aww.
But then it also looked weird to see sorry as well.
It's a cute table though. Just, I think the chair's just a bit big for it. We bought this beautiful wardrobe from the brocante. It needs a bit of work with some woodworm treatment, but otherwise, I mean, look at this wood, it's incredibly beautiful. We're trying to put it together, which is a little bit difficult because I've only got one hand, so Chris is having to do the majority of the work. But yeah, we're just trying to work out how it all fits together. In the sort of 1890s, they did flat pack furniture slightly differently to how they do now. All sorts of weird bolts and things, but we're getting there. We just need to get the top on and the doors on, and then hopefully we're good to go. I've obviously only got one hand. Well, I can sort of use my stump a little bit for like resting things on, but I can't do much, and I get pretty worn out. So
I have to do everything.
pretty much going to leave Chris.
No, you've done very well so far. Yeah. So what are we doing now?
I think we've got to. Well, are we ready to put the tops on, or do we have to leave that to dry a bit longer?
We could put that top on. But I mean, the trouble is, every single time we touch it, it all just scratches, doesn't it?
Yeah. I've got a little touch-up pen, but it's not really working. So, what I think will work really well is if we use the, what's it called? The paint, is it?
Bond Street is the
Bond
colour.
Street,
It's like a really, really dark blue.
Mylan's Bond Street, which we've also used on a pipe over there, and it goes perfectly with the blue in the wallpaper. So I think I quite like the brown, but let's go for Bond Street blue instead, shall we?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, yeah, don't move this pole because they're exactly where they need to be. And actually, can you whack on the laser while you're there? It was sacrilege to spray the wallpaper. That's why I measured it twice, well actually 3 times, because I don't want to. How do you fill wallpaper? You can't, can you? Anyway, wall plugs.
Right, we bought these plugs, so we've got quite heavy and big curtains that we need to hang on the wall. Because it's just plasterboard, we've been looking for like the best possible plugs that you can get for fixing the sort of curtain rails to the wall. So I'm just going to give it a little test first. So we've already drilled the hole, and these ones basically you push them in, and then with a screw, hopefully it will just pull you out. Threading it, isn't it? But how strong is that? That's pretty strong actually. Okay, I'm happy with that. So let's stick these in the wall and start hanging the curtains.
Okay. They haven't gone in flush, but they feel quite strong.
Where's the other bit? There's 2 of these. Oh, here it is. Right, so unfortunately, the wardrobe that we bought, and which was filmed on Château DIY, missed these kind of like little bits at the bottom, which is quite sad because it's sort of they're quite nice decorative features, aren't they?
They finished it off nicely.
So we're going to try and make our own. Unfortunately, because of my arm, I'm not up to much on the table sawing and everything like that. So have you ever used this before?
No, I don't think I have. I've used the other one, but not this one.
Yeah. So I mean, the challenge here is it's quite a small piece of wood, but yeah, so you need to kind of push it up against the fence. And then feed it through with that one, and you'll find that the blade catches this because it's like really fun. I made one cut which was the wrong size, so this one will hopefully correct it and put it right. Right, let me just. You borrow the glasses, yeah. And
I'm in the court face.
actually, let me just do it. Should we have a look?
Yeah.
So that's the piece. I think we should probably just trim it down because it
might be quite nice.
next that'll be hidden anyway. So if you just turn the blade out a little bit more.
I don't know how to do that. Is this oak?
Yeah.
This is really expensive. This would be about 20 quid or something.
I don't know about actually. In France it seems oak is one thing that seems to be a little bit cheaper than the UK.
I thought we always thought it was expensive.
It is, but I mean it is expensive, but for a little piece like this it's not too bad. Right, there we go. Yeah, I still use the little pokey rod.
Safety first. 0 time.
So these are the little pieces of wood that I've cut down to size with Chris's help. They basically sit here, and I think that's a pretty good match. I will try and router out the edge and make a kind of a match to the pattern, which will be quite tricky. But I quite like that it sits proud. It sort of feels like it should. So I think that works quite nicely. I just hope that we can get the colour of the wood to blend in and look like it matches. Right, so annoyingly, I don't have quite the right router bit. This one's just a little bit small, so it's not going to match perfectly, unfortunately, but this is the only one I've got, so I'm going to have to try and make it work. I will probably sand it to try and get a better finish and get it looking really good, but at least this will get the sort of general shape right. Looking perfect, but it's not too bad.
You can try and do.
Hello?
Is that okay?
So we finally finished decorating this peacock room, which do we need to come up with a more imaginative name?
I think we do, although we just keep on calling it the peacock room, so maybe that's what it's destined to be called.
I love this room. I feel like we had this task and this brief that we set ourselves to make it really dramatic and
opulent, wasn't it?
Yeah, opulent, dramatic, moody. I think we've certainly done that, and I love it. I think it's great. What about you?
Same. I absolutely love it. Such a beautiful, nice feeling, and it feels like you're kind of bizarrely up in the trees in some luxurious cabin almost, because the treetops are all there. Everywhere you look, there's trees, and it's just the wallpaper is just stunning. Like, it's beautiful. I was worried it'd be too much for this room with the curtains as well, but
one thing I really love is when you close the curtains, it's almost like a stage. I find it it really hits that dramatic thing.
How does this room make you feel?
This room makes me feel quite proud actually, because it was just so many things that we'd never done before. I just didn't really like the vibe of this room before, but now I love it, and so I feel quite proud. I feel as though it's been a real achievement, and we learnt so many skills along the way with this room.
Yeah, we did actually. That's a really good point, and it's going to set us up for other rooms in the future that are probably a bit harder than this one. Just wallpapering in itself then set us up for the big mural on the staircase, which we couldn't mess up because we didn't have spare.
You don't really get much harder than this though, because the pattern needs to match up. It needs to be 0.5 millimetre perfect. I
think it was a great first job wallpapering, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think we did pretty well.
With the added pressure of doing it on TV.
Yes. Add cameras and things are harder. It certainly doesn't make it any easier when you've got a lens glaring down your face. But we did a really good job. I'm very, very chuffed.
And I love the wardrobe as well. I love that inside of it. There's this pop of yellow. And that came with it. If it hadn't done, I would have probably wanted to do something like that anyway. So it was perfect. We just kind of changed it into a proper wardrobe rather than shelves. So that was really nice. And my other favourite thing, those lights were a really good find, and the side tables, I love those.
Yeah,
Just
they work
Amazon.
really well. Yeah, we've got these little lights, and they have like a nice soft light, which I think's always really nice for reading at night time, because I find so many lights, they're just a bit like harsh and blue, whereas these will just soothe you and get you ready for sleep. So
And it was annoying, we didn't have enough money to have like a proper electrician in here, and so it was too late to ask an electrician to come in and like put them in properly. So these are just Amazon, and they just connect to a plug socket, which is great. They're really nice, and they dim as well.
yeah, definitely hit the spot.
And side tables, we went for a bigger bed in here. We went for a Super King bed because we were all about big bed, but then we didn't have room for side tables, so they were another little compromise. And you were like, we'll never find any that fit. And they work.
Yeah,
They're really good and really cheap, super cheap.
Yeah.
We'll put a link somewhere below.
Yeah, it's still, we'll stick a link, an Amazon link, and then you can find them if you're interested in getting them yourself. So overall, I think I'm really, really happy, and yeah, hope you like the room too. Anyway, see you later.
Got to work on the sign off.